Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned into another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report that will hopefully have no server burps and what have you. I tried streaming live earlier and ran into a few bandwidth issues, so hopefully the same thing will not happen. This is an AMA every day, a Q&A with you and me, so feel free to ask anything you so desire to ask me. I've got a few things I would like to talk about, potentially. But also need to let you know that the video for the Chris Pirillo YouTube channel, the other YouTube channel, has been uploaded. It's still processing. It will be going public tonight in the other YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris Pirillo, and the topic is Apple. Shocker. Believe you me, I can talk about more than just Apple. In fact, I'd be thrilled to talk about more than just Apple. But is Apple doomed under Tim Cook's direction? Or something along those lines. I talked to the camera for about a half hour. No, yeah, about a half hour. This session may very well last a little longer than that, so long as people are asking questions on a Saturday evening. Yeah, I don't mind doing a TLDR every day, weekdays, weekends, it doesn't matter to me. You can join our Discord chat if you want. It's easy to do. You either become a patron on Patreon, patreon.com/Chris Pirillo, or you become a Twitch sub on twitch.tv/Chris Pirillo. And it will automatically synchronize, so long as you've got it connected to your Discord account, to our Discord chat room, the Cantina. And that's a 24/7 chat. And we don't have to worry about bandwidth issues, necessarily. So I count on everybody tuning in to let me know if we're running into hurdles. You're also more than welcome to throw me a super chat if you want your question to bubble up to the top and for me to go, oh, hey, we have a super chat, and a shout out and what have you. I appreciate the support in whatever ways that you see fit to give it. I'm going to begin by talking about iOS 11.1 Beta 1. We're talking about the public beta of iOS. I originally had no intention on downloading and installing the latest beta, specifically on a production machine, and then I quickly realized, you know, I don't think it's going to be any worse. And then someone on Twitter, bless his heart, said, oh, it's so much better! So I tried it. I don't think he was lying, necessarily, but yeah, if you download the iOS 11 beta 1 of 11.1, there's a lot of ones going on here. Don't expect any dramatic changes. I'd say I'm seeing just as much herf as, is that the right word to use too? I don't know, I'm looking for creative words, really, as I have in the version 11 final. I haven't used it long enough to be able to tell you that it's more stable than the final version. It is beta, but in my estimation, quite honestly, I'm seeing the same bugs in the beta as I have in the final. I don't know if I'm even going to be seeing more bugs. It becomes painfully apparent with every passing revision. It's just not getting better. It's funny, I mean, I was looking for certain bugs to be addressed. You'd expect that, and you'd expect certain things to be reported, especially when you know other people have run into the issue, including Spotlight. You know, even after waiting for everything to index properly, Spotlight still doesn't know where the hell my apps are. I've even heard reports of people not even knowing where the hell their apps are. Their apps have just disappeared. They're gone. And I think this really started to change, not with the Spotlight hook, but with the change of iOS in relation to the iPad, because there's new management for the dock, and you have to hold the icon, tap and hold in order to start dragging and dropping. Do you want to drag it to the sidebar to open up split pane? But I think they brought that kind of behavior to the iPhone as well, like just to make it, I guess, more convenient for their code base. But it's just not awesome. Like, some people, in order to launch an app that they're looking for, even if they know they have it installed, they can't find it through Spotlight. The only way to launch it is to search for it in the App Store by title and then use the open link from there. In iOS 11 final, one bug or two, not a big deal, right? You know, when we start, counting them like this, then it's just a little, I think the best word to use, and I've used this more often recently, egregious. Oh, a stellar example. And by the way, I'm not drinking green tea. This is blood. I'm drinking blood. I'm a vampire. I don't know if you knew that. No, it is red tea. It is a hibiscus tea. Good to keep your antioxidant levels firing high. That's what they say. I don't know. I have antioxidants. They divorced my uncle oxidants. About a decade ago. Geekmoto13, I can see here, is asking one of the first questions. What do you think about trying to get Windows to do silly things? What? Okay, I think that's a good question, but you may want to clarify because I don't know about that. The only Windows question I have right now is Cuphead. I've seen like some gameplay and I'm like, oh wow, that looks pretty neat. Someone suggested on Twitter earlier that I should just get it on Newegg because it's $18 and you can play it on both Xbox and the PC. And I'd be inclined to do that. I don't know, which system I would use, but I've got an older Surface that I'd be just as inclined to play a Cuphead on, or even the Xbox One, which I have not fired up in about a year because I didn't get Battlefront for the Xbox and I got Battlefront for the PS4. I'd probably get Battlefront for the PS4 again, but if I do any video game streaming, and I mentioned this the other day, specifically on Battlefront, it'll probably be under the Star Wars Radar YouTube channel, potentially. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on Apple using supplies produced by child labor? Well, I can't quite check your handle because it's not there. I wouldn't be a fan of that. I wouldn't be a fan of supporting any company that did that. I don't believe that Apple does that. They'd certainly be taken to task over and over again. I know there are companies that do. The company that Apple uses is also used by other major manufacturers. So this is the problem with boycotts, or people who are outraged over one company doing something. If they look really closely, they can find something to scrutinize about every company. If I look closely, I'm sure I could find something to scrutinize. And I'm not saying child labor is just as bad as overworked employees. But for the most part, a lot of these major tech companies that provide the services and devices that use on a regular basis, they're using the same companies. They're relying on these third parties to help put together what it is that they intend on selling you. Danny310 says, I've heard the new update will drain your battery. iOS 11 will. That's a guarantee. Although Stephen H. also notes that iOS 11.1, the beta 1, the public beta, extends battery life by an hour on my 8 Plus and 6S Plus. So that's a little bonus. My feeling outright is that if you're taking your chances with iOS 11, you might as well take your chances with iOS 11 beta 1. I say that, be cautious though, because don't think that me saying it gives you the guarantee that you won't run into any problems, because it could very well happen. It may very well happen. Let's see here. YouTube is working. Okay, that's good. Right up front. Are the haptics for the recently used apps re-enabled on 11.1? Press and swipe from the left side of the screen. Oh, let's find out. The haptics. I know I'm getting haptics with emoji now, at least within the Discord app. Let me see if I can... I don't use iMessage. Not anymore. Let's see here. See if I can... Oh, no. I don't get haptic feedback for the emoji in that app. I get it on Discord. I get haptic feedback. Okay, let's see if you mean task switching. Let's see here. Yep. Nope. And I was like, yeah, it's working. No, it's not. You can't. I was looking for the app switching. They said that they took it away, but will likely bring it back. But there's definitely no task switching by pressing and holding from the left side. So I'm not getting any haptic feedback or any task switching in iOS 11.1. Lots of YouTubers are reporting 11.1 increases battery life. Okay, there we go. Speed up all over system animations. See, that's the thing. I can't say that my system animations have necessarily improved outright. And I may feel different, after using it for a fair amount of time, but I feel it's just about the same. Minus one animation in particular, which they have tweaked in the version. If you scroll on a web page and then you tap to go back up, it'll go back, instead of just popping back up, it'll go back and then slow down and then kind of fall into place. That's a very clean animation. It's a very nice animation. I'm not sure if I could say the same for any other animation. I honestly had to turn on reduce motion because the animation quality was just so bad. It was so poor. I'm not even going to bother flipping that back on for the time being, if only because I'm kind of accustomed to reduce motion. I mean, the less I have to seemingly push my system through, the better off it's going to perform. Or that's been my case. Not to say that I'm happy about that, because I mean, what does it say about the quality of an operating system that you have to turn off certain features in order for it to respond well on the device that it was designed for? So yeah, that's. Babeats831 says Ultra Pixel. Well, I talked about that the other day in TLDR. You can watch it if you want. after this video, naturally. Slots and his wise. What do you think about the Star Trek Discovery only being on the CBS All Access subscription service? Well, I guess it's on Netflix internationally, not Netflix here domestically, which is kind of upsetting. I'm not inclined to pay for it. Very happy with Orville, though. If you're jonesing for a good sci-fi series, not to say that it's a replacement for Star Trek, but I've really liked Orville. It's got a different take on the genre. It's sci-fi that doesn't take itself seriously. It's sci-fi that you're watching, and like if you're thinking in your head, man, if that was real, the person would totally do this, and that's what they do. And I think that's really what makes it work, because you'll see a character do something like that's totally what I would say, but it's in the future and it's in these various scenarios. But he's done a Seth MacFarlane, I think he's done a fantastic job at kind of bending the genre a bit, and it works. It really does work. I do laugh frequently, but I also appreciate some of the messages that come across. It's very much in the theme of Roddenberry's Star Trek. I really do appreciate it. It's absolutely a recommendation. Just be warned, it ain't a straight up sci-fi at all. Let's see here, Alex Cioli. Hi chat, how are y'all? We're doing well, I think. Neil H asks, do you think quality control with iOS 7? Boy, this is my problem, isn't it? I'm the one who started everybody on iOS, and now it's like iOS. Do you think that quality control with iOS 7 through to 11 has to do with Federighi being in charge of iOS, macOS, and now Siri, whereas he just did OS 10 prior to iOS 7? It's possible. Not that I was necessarily thrilled with OS 10 prior to 7, but at least macOS has been stable. We haven't necessarily had to worry about it all that much in relation to other platforms that Apple's been developing since then. I think Federighi's just got a different approach to software that someone else might, and it seems that he hasn't brought, if he had any to begin with, that same eye for quality or quality control from macOS now to iOS. It's abundantly clear. That much is what I can see. So I really couldn't tell you. I think he may be in charge of too much, but maybe he just needs to be in charge of something else and just that one thing. I think Apple's got the ability to expand its horizons and its team. I talked about this very briefly in today's video in the Chris Pirillo YouTube channel. Let's see here. And someone was asking about Tim Cook and firing people. I didn't really talk about firing anybody today, but I did kind of allude to this. So I don't want to issue any spoilers, but I talked about a half hour on that topic in Tim Cook specifically in today's other video that's not been made public yet. Let's see here. What's your opinion on Johnny Ive and Tim Cook? Do you think Tim restricts Johnny's creative thinking? I think Johnny's checked out, honestly. I don't think he's got his head in the game. That's really I think the bigger problem. They've got people who mean well, but even if you mean well, that doesn't mean you're going to do something that's suitable. And I think that's one problem that's compounded by another, and then you have this cascading series of what are described as failures. Certainly by some, and others just they make excuses for Apple. I refuse to make excuses for Apple. That's if I have a job, it's not to make excuses for any company. I'm gonna call it like I see it. Excuse me. Jordan Vasquez asks, when do you plan to do your review of Android 8.0 Oreo? Well, I was debating doing that last week. And then, things just didn't come together, and I realized, I can give Android 8.0 a fair shake. I really feel I can on the Nexus 6P. But the more I learned, the more I realized that the Nexus 6P would probably not be one of the better devices to use it on, even though I think it is. It works. That's the thing about Android 8.0, or even 7.0. It ran exceedingly well on a Nexus 6P, which is now, 2 years old? And I think to give iOS a fair shake, I've got to use it on the latest phone, right? And it got to the point where I was like, well, I can test, the iPhone 7 Plus against the Nexus 6P, but even that's not fair because the iPhone 7 Plus is newer than the 6P. But then you've got then the 8 Plus was just released, and the Pixel 2 is about to be released next week, or this coming week. And I plan on doing a live stream, by the way, for the Google announcements. Probably going to do that in the Chris Pirillo YouTube channel, if only because I know a lot of people will be looking for it there, and we'll do a separate TLDR. You may get 2 streams that day. Of course, to get your comment, you're rising above the rest, you may have to do a super chat, or certainly join us on the Discord server as well. So my plan for reviewing Android 8.0 is probably going to be in tow with the Pixel, or the Pixel 2, once I have one. And then, of course, I'll be doing a comparison. So instead of doing the comparison that I planned on doing between the iPhone 7 Plus and the Nexus 6P, I'm going to do one with the iPhone 8 Plus against the Nexus 2 XL. XL? That's what it is. So it'll be fair. I feel it'll be more fair. But I can just, spoiler alert, I'm just going to tell you, flat out, Android Oreo, Android 8.0, works better on a Nexus 6P by and large. It's a better experience on an older Android device than the newer version of iOS on the latest iPhone. And so I can't expect, I'm only going to expect the Android experience to improve. Not to say it was bad. I mean, I could use the phone if I needed to. I could use the Nexus 6P. It's been a go-to Android device since I picked it up. And that is just me being honest. Especially, I'm not talking about the hardware features. I'm talking specifically about the software. It's all I really care about, honestly. I mean, I care about the hardware, sure, but like without a good software experience, I just don't care about the hardware as much. Braxton Thompson asks, has Apple stopped innovating? No, I've talked about it. It's been years. I've talked about that. I don't want to beat that again, but no. I mean, I can only imagine the stresses and the pressures Apple has, but I don't think they've stopped innovating. I think they innovate differently. And the way that they iterate, I think, is much more important to watch. Because the iPhone 10 I don't see as an innovation. I see it as an iteration, and one that I think is going down the wrong path as far as I'm concerned. But that's I don't think that has to do with innovation. Because I honestly, I don't see anything apart from the sensor, the Face ID sensor, that is innovative. There's no doubt about that. It's like the Kinect that they crammed into the phone. And that's pretty amazing. That's innovative. Whether or not we needed it, whether or not we wanted it, that remains to be seen. Whether or not it's better remains to be seen. Whether we're willing to put up with the shortcoming, the massive shortcoming of the gigantic black nipple at the top of the iPhone 10, that remains to be seen. I'm not. I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. No, I know there are cleaner software pastures elsewhere. But the grass is always greener. That is true. That is true. Flavius Julianus asks, do you use iPhone the most of your phones? You mean the most of my phone? I don't carry phones. I don't have phones. I don't get phones. Although I did talk to a developer yesterday. I'm like, hey, you know what I need? I need a way for my community to crowdfund which phone they want me to review, which device they want me to review. Because I can't afford to buy all the phones. Unless I can get a review unit, I'm out of luck. And then, of course, by the time I can get a unit, the time to talk about it is then and gone. Like, if I talk about the Note 8, like a month from now, people will be like, dude, that's old news. I'm like, well, I missed that cycle. So, it's like, I'm definitely not gonna spend the money. I'm not gonna chase a review unit down if it's quote unquote too late. I think the best way of doing it is potentially setting up a profile somewhere that allows the community to say, I'd like you to review the Pixel. Here's $1, that goes to your Pixel budget. And then that service, effectively, when I reach the line, would go and get the device for me, and then we can prove, hey, look, this device was sent to me by you. I didn't buy it. Like, you sent this to me. And that way, I, as a reviewer, could be completely unbiased. Any more than normal, right? It's not that I was sent the unit and I'm afraid I'm going to lose access at any point in the future. I'd really like to pursue that as a model, but it doesn't have a place to be right now. And I'm not going to set up various GoFundMes and Kickstarters, and it's not manageable. It's not the way I'd want to do it at all. Is Super Chat only available on desktop? Apparently, because YouTube doesn't know what they're doing. I'm serious when I say that. YouTube has just made some colossal errors with the development of their mobile apps consistently. The only way to get anything done on YouTube anymore is on the desktop, which is horrible. I would love to live stream from my phone. But unfortunately, you can't lock exposure on your phone going live. It would be great. It would be a fantastically better experience for me, at least. But you can't stream easily, and apparently you can't super chat on mobile right now. And I'm working on a way to like get a hold of someone at the live team to say, look, these are the problems that you have. And so thank you for the option in saying, you would super chat me. I do appreciate that, but unfortunately, it's only on the desktop, and I wouldn't force anybody out there to use the desktop if they didn't want to. Let's see here. So by dropping the coffee and cream, you were able to lose weight? Asks Kilowans. No, not quite. I've lost weight my entire adult life. If you go and watch my vegan vlogs, go.tagjag.com/vegan vlogs. I explain kind of why, I'm taking this path. It's for overarching health. It's not just losing weight. I could probably continue. In the past, I have continued to drink coffee with cream, and I've lost weight. That was more about, caloric restriction. And as much as I'm eating fewer calories, I'm also eating more nutrient-dense calories now, moreover avoiding animal products. So even if the word vegan scares you, it shouldn't. And I guess I am kind of vegan from a political standpoint too. It's lowered my carbon footprint by a dramatic degree. The better term to use is a whole food plant-based person. And so that's primarily what I eat. Like for dinner, it was like a potato. Diana made some hash browns. It was great. No oil in the hash browns. Some edamame, soybeans, quinoa that was basically boiled with or cooked with juice runoff from black beans. Some mole. And it was a great dinner. It was a filling meal. I'm full for the moment. Eating healthier has made me potentially a more healthy individual. I hope to continue to lose just a few more pounds. Not much. I can't lose much more, but that's why. So I don't drink the coffee because I think a green tea suits me better. I love coffee. I may drink it every so often as a treat, but in terms of what it might do with to my arteries, I'm not so much a fan of. And the jury's still out on the benefits of coffee as well as the drawbacks. And it's like, well, as a treat, but daily, I think that's it for me. Because you get old enough and you just start thinking about your health differently. Jason Chinsolo asks, did you change any settings on iOS, for example, changing background refresh to save battery? I've turned a lot of that off, though, for a lot of apps. I don't have any background apps open for the most part. I turned those off years ago. So I haven't had to deal with a lot of that as much as others have, and I certainly watch for when apps kind of abuse that access, and knowing that I'm not in the position that I need to check the app and that it needs to show me everything right away, because honestly, every time I open the app, it seems to refresh anyway. iOS has been horrible with memory management. Horrible. I mean, iOS 11 on the 8, you'd expect to be great. Like with 3 gigs of RAM, no, I can flip between an app, and then another app, and then go back to that first app, and it's got to refresh itself. I'm like, really? Okay. Why do I have background refresh turned on again? Why is that important? So yeah, I don't have that on for a lot of the apps that I use, at least that I know of. Not anything outright. Bud0801 asks, hey Chris, remember when Apple started the Think Different campaign in 97? So when will Apple's design and software teams ever going to think different and maybe innovate? That's a great question. There's actually a really good video on that. I think it was the best Steve Jobs video ever, the best Steve Jobs interview ever, the best Steve Jobs keynote ever. Anyway, let me look here. I'll get you the exact the label. But that's where he launched the. He talked about a lot of this stuff, including not talking about specs. That's not a Chris Pirillo thing. Steve Jobs' best keynote ever, I think. But he launched the campaign with that. Okay, that wasn't it. At least I'm not finding the thumbnail for it outright. He was addressing, I think, either developers or investors. Not seeing it. Not seeing it outright. I apologize. I won't be able to find it for you. Let's see here. So I would like them to think different, certainly. I wish they'd do a lot more R&D. I wish they'd kind of push that envelope. I do. Alright. I can't. I'm trying to take everything in order unless a super chat pops up. Is there a way I can send you my old Galaxy 8 Plus going to purchase the iPhone 8 Plus, not only for you to hold on to, but perhaps review or compare to the iPhone iOS? I don't know, dude. I don't want to take advice from it. I don't know you from Adam. I appreciate that, but any device can be, potentially rooted, and I don't think you do that to me. I'm not saying anybody would, but thank you. I appreciate that. I do. I really genuinely do. But I'd rather, just for my own sanity's sake, try something out of the box. But thank you. Honestly, you'd be better off converting that to buy your iPhone 8 Plus into cash. Sell it for cash if you're not wanting to hold on to it. I'm hoping to get like some type of Samsung device. I don't know which one yet. We'll see. Maybe the Note 8, because that's what a lot of people have been asking about, but it's just finding a way to get it. And I've had one indication that it's a possibility through a connection, and then waiting for another connection to possibly come through, just to get it done. See what I'm saying? Like, it'd be so much easier if I could just crowdfund these devices, and you guys could tell me what you want, and I would be able to do it. Jose Pedro Macedo Silva asks, what is your opinion about the Android One initiative on lower spec phones? I think it's great. I think if anything's going to eat into the iPhone market, it's Android One in the U.S. I mean, granted, it's had quite a dramatic impact throughout the rest of the world, but I think Android One and being able to get all the updates, getting all the the features, being a clean product, and knowing that you're getting something straight up from Google, I think is going to go a long way. I think it's potentially going to upend Apple's business. I think people will still want the iPhone and still appreciate it, but I think an Android One device, which I'd be inclined to try as well. And what is it? Is there an Android One device on the horizon here? Is it in the Moto series? Not being one who's inclined to catch up on the latest gadget news, as many of you are, it's smart because you could either spend hundreds of dollars on an amazing device, or less hundreds, or fewer than hundreds, or right around, $1,000 on a device, or hundreds. There, it's an easier comparison. Less or more. And if what you see from it, what you get from it is the same, then, why would you spend more? And I think that race is going to be won by an Android One. You're talking about, being able to have a flagship type of feel in a less than with a less than flagship price. And I think it's a good move. I think it's long overdue. I think Apple would find itself in potentially in trouble. I mean, yeah, unless someone's like enamored by design and wants it for their iPhone specifically as a status symbol, you're never going to dissuade them. But anybody else, from my understanding, that's what the Android One initiative is basically bringing that type of experience, but to a less than flagship device, a pure Android experience. I'm for it. I'm all for it. Color me a fan. Haven't tried one yet. Like I said, though, it's not available outright here in the U.S. You can super chat from the Android app. Interesting, Cody Sabo. Interesting. Okay, I did not know that. Thank you. I did not know that. And oddly enough, as I read that comment, Bob Santaniello did a super chat. Thank you. He says, "May the force be with you. Thanks for keeping the passion in everything you do." Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bob. I do appreciate that. And apparently you can do it on Android. See, I would know this if I was using an Android, a contemporary Android phone on a regular basis. Unfortunately, I don't think that my Nexus 6P battery would keep a charge for that long. And I'm this close to getting the new stuff. I'll just wait. It's kind of sad. I did want to try the Pixel for the past year. I really wanted to try the Pixel. That trying a Pixel over the past year may have even changed my mind sooner about what Apple might have been doing. But we'll see. So there you go. Super chat from the Android app. Cool. Surprise! It's Google. Google Pixel 2 worth the wait? Don't know. We don't know anything about it. Baby, it's 831. I mean, we know rumors, but you can't believe a rumor. Let's see here. Yaniv asks, "Are you sure you won't buy the 10? I'm confident. If I can't get a review unit for a Pixel 2, I'm getting it. Like, I would rather spend $1,000 on a phone that doesn't suck." And I'm saying that because here's the problem. People, they think I'm going to pass judgment on the hardware. Well, first of all, I can tell you the OLED or the OLED screen isn't exactly new. It's a Samsung screen. One. Two, Aspect ratio is certainly taller, but I'm already well satisfied, or satisfied enough with the iPhone 8 Plus screen. Moreover, while I appreciate the camera and the improvement in the cameras, I should say, absolutely, I don't know if I can overlook the glaring software problems that we're facing. That's the thing. And so the notch, the massive black hardware nipple at the top of the iPhone 10 screen, or side, depending on how you're holding it. You're holding it wrong. Landscape mode is nasty on iOS to begin with. It's insult to injury on the 10. The screenshots that I'm seeing are just not compelling at all. It would keep me from wanting to pursue it outright. So I'm not passing. That's the thing. Well, you have to try it. And I'm like, I don't want to try it. Like, I can tell you from a distance, that looks horrific. Like, even in portrait mode, it's just always there, slapping you in the face. You know, if I have the money to spend, it isn't going to be on a 10. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm set. I'm happy enough. Which isn't to say that I'm thrilled. You know, I've got an iOS experience, and I'm good. Yeah, I'm confident I wouldn't buy the 10. I think there are better devices to spend money on if you have the money to spend. Yeah, of course, I'm trying to dovetail everything that I do with that realm back into, you know, the videos that I'm doing for everybody and the support that I get for everybody. Kind of talked about the Pixel 2 and the future of Android already, so I'm not going to address that outright. I do not lift weights, thank you. No need to. Oh, hang on, just a second. I'm scrolling up because it jumped down, so I gotta make sure I'm reading these in order, the questions that I haven't already addressed. Amman asks, also, what's your general experience in the limited amount of time you spent with the Samsung Galaxy Note 7? I did not have a Note 7. The last Note I had was a 4, compared to the iPhone and iOS. It was pretty cool. Back then, the Note 4 I thought was capable. It was ample, but I was like, the Android experience generally was kind of lacking, or I didn't find that it was that much more beneficial than what I was getting in iOS outright. So it wasn't as compelling an option at that stage. I think I'd feel differently about the Note 8 though. Cirrus asks, hello, what do you think of the LG V30? From a distance, it looks fine. The camera looks pretty stellar. I'm still looking for a great way of testing the iPhone 8 Plus 4K 60 frame per second video. I think the best experience is probably going to be with Jedi, because she moves around a lot and there's a lot of activity and action. I just don't know where that's going to be yet. I've got unboxings that I got to do later. I think I'm going to do the Funko unboxing in the Star Wars Radar channel. I don't think I'm going to do anything else at this point in the Star Wars Radar channel tonight. Try to do a Star Wars video every day, but it's been a little busy. Edward Lee asks about Scott Forstall. You listen to my video that'll be published in the Chris Pirillo channel tonight. I do my best to address that. Let's see here. Oh, so it was the Moto X4. Thank you. Okay, I was right about the Android One thing earlier. That's how many comments I had to scroll through. Hector, Tony, and Jordan mentioned it was the Moto X Generation 4, Moto X4. I don't think it's out, though. Let's see. I think it's out soon. I got to figure out how to... Moto X4. I'm using Bing. Just kidding. Is it out? No. India launch gets postponed. Project Fi's first. That's September 20th. Moto X4 will be coming on Google Fi. Project Fi, I should say. Moto X4 will cost $400 or $399. Come in 2 colors, black or silver. Cool. Oh, available for pre-order starting today. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know if I got $400 to spend on a Moto X4 that people would actually care about. See, that's the thing. It's like I can spend $400 on a device, but, if I do a review and, nobody cares, I'm like, what was the point of me doing that? So I would like to try one, though. If I could get a hold of someone that would be able to... And I reached out even to... I think it was IBM that had the Moto Contact. I never heard back. Lenovo. Sorry, not IBM. Old habits die hard. That's how old I am. Tony Healy says, by the way, my 3-year-old daughter knows you as Jedi's daddy when she sees me watching your videos. That's right. I am Jedi's daddy. I'm daddy around here. I am daddy. Jason Toner asks, how do I donate money? Well, a few different ways. Thank you for asking the question. I'm going in order. You can use Super Chat on YouTube, either on Android or the desktop. You could go to my Patreon campaign. The link is in the video description, patreon.com/Chris Pirillo. You could become a sub of mine on Twitch and then gain access to the Discord chat room. That's open 24/7. It's completely up to you, but I appreciate everything. People would still love me to review the 10. Not on my dime. Like, if that would be a way to crowdfund devices, that'd be the only way I'd do it. And even then, it'd be like, why are you guys doing this to me? Why? All right. Let's see here. PKTV, is this the same situation about the iPhone 10 that you had with the original iPhone? You're the one still eating crow about. Yeah, but I've already answered that. I've already addressed that recently. I know enough about software. I know enough about iOS now. I know what a good experience can be. I've watched that experience slide slowly downhill with the iPhone itself. So I'm not passing judgment on the hardware. I'm passing judgment on the software. I can see the software at a distance. I'm like, nope. Nope. Not gonna happen. You get more screen that is cluttered, that is unusable, that is save space. Web pages have the chance of looking radically different on an iPhone 10. Not interested. I'm not even close to being interested. No. I don't trust Apple enough anymore. That's the thing. I trusted them with design. I don't trust them anymore. So yeah, I'm passing judgment on what I've seen. But I've seen it. I've known it. It's a slightly different ballgame. Hivebeard says, glad to see a TLDR again. I'm glad to see you. Thanks again for remembering to like the video, share it, comment, turn on notifications for this channel and the other one. Thanks for all the support in whatever way you're able to do it. Are you planning to have more kids? I know, very unrelated Hound Life vlog. That's okay. No, the plan is no. That's the plan. We are not expecting. We're good. We're gonna stop at 1. Why mess with perfection? Why, we got a good thing going. We got a perfect daughter. I was laughing at the beginning, I think, potentially of the stream because Jedi was kind of fussing and then she ended up calming down. Really fussy. She's a three-nager now. Used heavy twice in a single sentence. Boy, there I am. Sometimes when I'm doing things live or even pre-recorded, I can trip over things. Blunt Capcom representative number 4 says, overall, were you disappointed with your Apple Watch? I remember you were optimistic about keeping you active. Well, here's the thing. I don't think the Apple Watch kept me more active over time. I mean, initially I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I realized, I don't need to exercise more to lose weight. I need to eat differently. Then I lost weight. Then I gained it back. And then I was where I was today, or just this past few months, and I'm going, I need to lose weight again. How am I going to do it and stay healthy? And honestly, that's why I moved to a whole food plant-based diet. So the watch isn't going to help me stick to a whole food plant-based diet, dietary lifestyle, whatever. I'm getting all the nutrition I need. Don't worry, vitamin B12 and omega-6 and all that stuff. So you don't have to worry about me. I'm not going to die, at least as far as health is concerned in that realm, in terms of what I eat. So yeah, I mean, I don't even wear it on a regular basis. I mean, sometimes I do. I'm like, yeah, I'll wear it, and if I'm out and about, I'll get a notification. But yeah, I guess I'm not weaning myself off the watch. I've yet to find an Android Wear watch that I'd want to wear. And I know there are newer ones that look kind of compelling. But I'm when I say I am serious about not being as much of an iPhone user as I have been, I don't know if you realize just how serious I am. My experience with Android on the Nexus 6P, the clean Android version of Android has been so good that I'm like, man, if this was a faster device, yeah, I'd be like, all right, switching. Not outright everything, but I really fear that the Pixel 2 XL is going to be, the iPhone killer for me. And I don't mean that, as bombastically. People just throw it around. They cry wolf for years. Like, oh, this is the Evo, whatever. HTC Evo is the iPhone killer. And I saw that. I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell you're smoking, but I hope it's illegal because there ain't no iPhone killer. It'll kill itself. I've long said that the only iPhone killer out there is the iPhone, but that may very well be true. The iPhone may be killing itself with the 10. But I really do feel that for me, the iPhone killer for me may very well be the Pixel 2 XL. That's kind of how I feel. And so I'm looking beyond what Apple's provided for that kind of stuff to see what else is possible. So I haven't found many Android Wear experiences that I'm like, yeah, I'm in. But most of them are like, not for me. I like clean. I like simple. I like light. I like things that work well. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to look through other comments and see how far we... Oh, we're about 40 minutes in, so we got about 20 minutes left of answering questions. If I can find where I left off. Sometimes the chat jumps. Let's see here. Are you excited about Star Wars Battlefront 2, asks the Spooky Moon. Yeah, hell yeah. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a ton of streaming on it, but I will likely be, if I do, it'll be in the Star Wars Radar YouTube channel. I'll turn it into a gaming channel. No big deal, because it's all Star Wars. And I'm most excited about the figure, the exclusive figure coming from GameStop. I'm still waiting for my exclusive, the 4-pack exclusive to come in. It hasn't come in, but today, now that you brought up Battlefront 2, today I found. Oh man, that one's not in good condition. This one's slightly better condition. They're kind of bent. You gotta be careful with these exclusives. See, I got two of them, one to open and one to keep in the box. All right, so maybe this is a little better. So this is a Captain Rex Black Series exclusive from HasCon. I think the figure is also going to be released ultimately in the classic red boxes. But there's an exclusive figure, Captain Rex. Captain Rex. Very happy to see this with the J guys on the box. Really cool box design, like amazing box art. So I'm in terms of Battlefront, I'm looking more forward to the figure than I am the actual game, believe it or not. But I am looking forward to the game. Looking forward to playing, tripping through story mode. I'm going to look at this stuff later and choose the one that I want to keep in the box, and then choose the one to potentially open. Potentially, we shall see. Okay, scrolling down. Jose Arribas asks, hey, sorry if we discussed already. Have you read or did you read Joshua Topolsky's latest article on the outline? One, I retweeted it almost immediately on Chris Pirillo on Twitter, so you should be following there. You may have missed it, though. Two, I do refer to it in tonight's Chris Pirillo video. But it's cool. You guys are kind of on the same wavelength as I am in terms of the video that I just did for everybody on the other channel. It's really nice to be on the same page. Tony, I really don't think much about Tech TV anymore. I gotta tell you. Let me put it this way. It's gone. I'm still here. Do you still hang out with Barnacle very much anymore? Not so much. I mean, he's busy. He's going through his own stuff. I would, though, that said, I would like to pull him into a hangout at some point in the future to do a live hangout here in a classic TLDR capacity. Maybe we can kind of push and nudge him to do that. It may be difficult for him to be in the same room outright, but I'd be happy to do that. I'd be happy to do hangouts on a consistent basis in this channel, the long form live stuff around topics that I find kind of compelling. This is off topic, but how's the vegan life going? Not really off topic. I talked about it earlier. It's going well. Read your wiki bio and was very impressed. Oh, dude, I don't even. At one point, my wiki bio had me as like a teenage girl that was hatched from an egg. So I don't know. Taylor Horsley, vegan shopping list for beginners. Fruits and veggies, whole food, plant-based vegan. Watch my videos, man. I've already done it. I feel a fantastic job at outlining how I did it. But honestly, we get manager specials. We get like 3 apples for $1. Fruits, veggies, simple. That's it. Don't go for the processed foods, man. That stuff ain't been good, for ages. No, just fruits and veggies. I'm not even lying, man. Fruits and veggies. You've got to eat enough, certainly, but, you've got to get the nutrition that you need. It's been fine. The shopping list is fruits and veggies. Stay away from refined grains and processed stuff as much as you can. TJ Celtic asks, why are people selling the $79.99 SNES Classic Mini for $180 to $500? They're scalpers, pure and simple. One of the reasons why I haven't even gone out and tried to look for one, because I know they're already bought out. It sucks, because I really wanted to get one for Diana's Christmas present. So if you find one, and I can get one in inventory, just let me know, because I'd get one for $80. for Diana's Christmas present, but I can't necessarily I can't justify spending any more than that because I'm not gonna pay a scalper. That's just rude. Yeah, it really drives me mad. Fraxis says, what has to be... And this is, by the way, I'm talking... Fraxis must have just joined the Discord chat. Because I can see his color is the cord from... Is the cord. His color indicates that he's joined from Twitch. So he must be a Twitch sub to have joined Discord chat. It says, what has to be missing from the new Pixel phone that would make you not want to buy it? That is a fantastic question. I think... What has to be missing? A good camera. That would be tough. Seriously, it would have been a very bad move. It would have been, I think, a lateral move going from an iPhone 7 Plus camera to a Google Pixel camera. I can't imagine the Google Pixel 2 having a worse camera. Like, generally speaking, that's not how things work. I can only imagine it getting better. So I'm curious to know how it may get better. The camera. I can live without a headphone jack. I've proven that living with the iPhone 7 Plus. It's never been an issue for me. We talked about that in TLDR, I think, the other day. And by the way, thank you for subbing to me on Twitch to join the Discord chat and support. It's really nice to see. I'm glad it worked. The thing about... the way I look at the Pixel is very much from a software perspective. I mean, the hardware is, it's a bonus, but I want a good software experience. This is what's been lacking. And I can tell you this, it's going to be bad. Like, people are going to say that I was biased. Like, you did it on purpose. I'm like, I'm telling you, if it is everything it portends to be, it makes itself out to be, it may be, I may very well say something along the lines of very dramatic, saying, this makes the iPhone, just look like a complete waste of money. Like, it's just, the software is so much better. Like, the notifications that are in Android are handled in such a better capacity than on iOS. I'm so done with iOS Notification Center. Done. It's unusable in iOS 11. This is something you would have to live with for the next year, with notifications, critical updates from your favorite apps. I mean, iOS 11 is disgusting notifications. Like, I think it has the potential of out-iPhoning the iPhone, out-appling the phone. I don't know the best way to say that, but anyway, that's what I think it would be. Cruise the Best 69, also in Discord chat, says, "Are you interested in trying the Note 8? Yes, I am. Very much so. If only because everybody else is interested in me trying the Note 8. It's just, I can't walk, up to a corner store and like, I'll take that Note 8 for a quarter. Sure. So, I would like to try it. I'm aiming on trying to get a hold of the device. I'd rather not work directly with any kind of party that may have an interest in the outcome of that review or the experience. But yeah, I absolutely do want to try the Note 8. And that would be a flagship product that I would use, because inevitably I would compare it to this Android device or that Android device or this iPhone or whatever the new thing was or whatever the next thing is. You kind of have to stay, in the current cycle of devices. And I know that. Another reason why I don't know if there'd be any interest around me, looking at that Moto X4. Fraxis again said, I just bought a Note 8 to get away from the iPhone 7 Plus and I'm enjoying it so far. Cool. Samsung TouchWiz has improved over time. I still don't know if I like TouchWiz over a pure Android experience beyond the nice little features you may get, from Samsung's modifications. But that doesn't wow me as much as it wows other people. I'm interested in looking at the camera for sure. Question for you, Chris. With the iPhone 10 losing Touch ID due to tech limits, and reports of iPhone 10 sales being large, do you think there's a chance Touch ID may be gone forever? I think so. I think that inevitably they're choosing their path, Face ID as being that path. It may not be gone forever, but when they learned how to incorporate the certain things with underneath the screen, it may make a comeback as an authentication point. It may. That remains to be seen. I don't think it's like the headphone jack. I don't think is coming back. Touch ID, I'm not sure, but I can tell you that I think I'd be frustrated in how I use the phone, specifically with Touch ID and usability, especially with the front-facing touch sensor. I think I may even become frustrated even with Android in that sense. You know, having to use the sensor on the back. That may be a pain point for me, because there are times that, you know, I'll have the phone on the desk and I'll go tap and it's open. Can't do that with the fingerprint sensor on the back. And I don't want to, you know, fiddle with codes and all that stuff. I just want it to be simple, straightforward, and be done with it. And that's been the beauty of the Touch ID. So if that leaves, you know, what do I want to, you know, if I don't want to pick up the phone, I just want to touch it from afar and look. You can't do that. You gotta like hover your face right over it, and what's the point at that point? Yeah. Your thoughts on ProMotion as a whole, asks Emin. I like it. I love it. In terms of what it does beyond, does it mitigate iOS jank? No. Let me put it this way: if I from a distance, if I see the new Pixelbook, you know, in terms of how it works, I would consider buying the Pixelbook and using the Pixelbook, and potentially even replacing my current iPad Pro with the Pixelbook, possibly. I don't know though. I don't know. I can just tell you that I don't think the iPad offers me anything different than a Pixelbook would, in terms of what I use it for, what I need it for. I could potentially, you know, hold on to it indefinitely, but I'd rather do my best to recoup the cost if I could. You know, I did that with my old iPad. You know, I sold it to Ryan Pearson, and he's on a payment plan, which has just been great. So I'm very happy to see that my iPad could be, you know, given new life. I don't know. I don't think we'd hold on to it indefinitely. If only because if I wasn't using it, it'd be unused. And Diana's got a phone, and that's fine. Otherwise, Jedi's going to want it, and it's a big screen. And if Jedi drops it, you know, we've lost that investment. So I'm going to try it, and then ultimately decide, you know, what's going to happen. But it may very well do it may very well do for me over the iPad what it's done for me. So yeah, that's a biggie for me. ProMotion was a nice feature. It's been nice and where I've seen it, but it doesn't mitigate the other problems with iOS, which is kind of sad. You know, you'd think it would, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Is anyone compelled to upgrade the Apple Watch? You know, honestly, it's been iterative. There's nothing on the new one that I care about. Maybe faster, but not worth the cost. After the first one, a faster Apple Watch was definitely warranted. But now, again, I'm looking at whether or not I'm going to use the Apple Watch indefinitely. If I'm not carrying around an iPhone, I'm like, well, why am I using the Apple Watch? Why am I going to hold on to that? So I may be selling quite a few devices. Because I don't want to hold on to them, because there's no value in holding on to that device, right? To me, that's not collectible. I can use it. I can reuse that money and have it applied to something else. But I got to find the alternative. I got to know what I'm going from to. Have I read Inferno Squad yet? Asks the great Shorty 167. I have not. I've not read Leia, Princess of Alderaan. I've not read Phasma. I've not read any of the Journey to the Last Jedi books at all. I want to. I just haven't. This is what happens when you get busy with things, and then you become a dad, and then you become even busier with things. It ain't easy. As much as I would like to listen to the stuff, I don't do podcasting outright. Some people have suggested I should do podcasting with TLDR. My suggestion to them is, well, just turn on the video and then play it in the background. There's a podcast for you. Maybe I'll figure out another way of doing it. Maybe possibly on Anchor. But you could get YouTube Red would allow you to play video in the background if you're on YouTube Red. You know, I use YouTube Red. I enjoy it greatly. It's probably, I would say, YouTube Red is $10 for me, well spent. I think it's $10 a month, well spent, because that covers now my music streaming. You know, with Google Play, it covers my YouTube not having to worry about ads. It covers my YouTube being able to support creators. It basically, you know, unlocks all these bonus features that are just like, this is awesome. So yeah, I consider me a YouTube Red subscriber for life. It's really worked out well. Really worked out well. And I know I can't be the only one who feels that way. But you know, I don't have to worry about Spotify, or I don't have to worry about Apple Music. You know, it's Google is slowly but surely sucking me in. Bleeding me dry. But that I don't feel bad about $10 a month. I don't. For that. Because I'm on YouTube all the time. So not having to worry about ads, trust me, is just, it's absolutely astounding. Like, I know I cannot be the only one who feels that way. I can't. Let's see here. When are you going to set up crowdfunding for reviewing phones? I don't know. I got to find the service to do it on. Let's see here. I'm checking. You need to link your Discord to your Patreon account. Oh, yes. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the Discord chat there for a second. Any other questions here? We may start winding down. Yeah, I'm really not seeing too many other questions. Minus the, are you going to get the $700 Lego Millennium Falcon? No. As much as I'd like to, it's really expensive. I mean, $700 is well spent. Like, trust me, it'd be worth twice as much in 2 years. But where am I going to put it? I would love, see that, if I had a service that I could go to, if I could find a developer to make this for me, where I can say, you know, crowdfund my Pixel 2, crowdfund my this, crowdfund my that, I would definitely put the Lego Millennium Falcon in there. You know, like, yeah, because if I found 700 people who are willing to say, here's $1 towards the Lego Millennium Falcon, and then in return, they get to see me build it, or they get to see this, or they get the review, or they get that, I think it'd be fun. But outright, that's like, even $400 for the Death Star, I loved, but I'm just like, wow, that's really expensive. And I love that Death Star. I still love that Death Star. Still. Ooh, I still love it. Coming in late as hell, but thanks for doing this again, Chris. No problem, that guy. You can go back and watch it anytime. I'm keeping all the TLDRs in perpetuity. Of course, the video's coming out in the other channel later tonight. I'm glad that bandwidth was copacetic in terms of in relation to me, and it was fine. It wasn't doing anything. It was just going along, so we didn't really have any burps like we thought we would. Who do you watch on YouTube? I don't watch anybody regularly. I have a few subscriptions, but I watch something that comes across my radar that I want to watch, and it's very rarely anybody that you would know. I like watching Star Wars videos. You know, I like informative stuff, some fun stuff, but you know, I don't subscribe to anybody because inevitably I feel bad because I'm so busy producing and doing things. Like, I don't have time to catch a lot of that stuff. So I'm not as much a consumer as anybody else might be. Because, I mean, let me put it this way. I've spent the last hour with you, and I'm very happy about that. But you know, before then, I was recording a video, and then I was waiting for that video to upload, and then I was getting Diana's phone backed up so that we can move her over to the iPhone 7 Plus tonight. You know, I was doing all those things. I don't have a lot of time to take stuff in. So I don't really catch up on subscriptions apart from what flies through my Twitter feed. And that'd be where I'd find most of that stuff. Blunt Capcom representative number 4 did a super chat. Good news, my iPad Mini 2 works great with iOS 11 when I restrict notifications and Siri is off. Everything is fine now, not really. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Blunt Capcom representative number 4. The idea, though, that you have to make your device less than what it should be is just, it's maddening. I just remember having such a better experience on the first iPad than I've had on the iPad Pro. And I'm not even talking about side-by-side and speed. Just knowing that it's been a tremendous headache to have to do that. I mean, I still feel like I have to turn things off on my phone, and I haven't. I haven't turned off transparency yet. I probably should. But when I've done it in the past, it just introduces other visual burps that I'm not willing to put up with. That's kind of sad how you have to do that. Oh, and by the way, I misspoke with Fraxis. He actually came in as a patron from Patreon. He's orange. The Twitch subscribers are deeper orange. I've got them colored differently. I don't know, just for my own visual thing in Discord. Discord, by the way, is a popular chat app. Gamers love it, apparently. If you buy a new Pixel phone when it comes out and enjoy it, will you return the new iPhone 8? As much as I'm inclined to, that's a toughie. I don't know. That's how I feel. What do I have 2 weeks to return it? I may be past that 2-week mark soon. I'm kind of disappointed about that. But I think for my sake of objectivity, I would hold on to it. If only because new Android device comes out. Chris, compare that to the iPhone 8 Plus. So I would have to have the iPhone 8 Plus. So to me, as much as I may not enjoy it as much, I have a feeling I'm going to be sticking with the iPhone at least for that, to remain objective, to say it's objectively, from my perspective, bad comparatively. So we will see. But I don't think I'd return it. I mean, it's been great to this point in terms of being able to at least talk about it with everybody and kind of kick up this dirt around Apple and the discussions that we've been having. Not to say that it's something that I would like to continue to do, but it's still something to kind of keep in mind. Okay, we've hit an hour. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, thank you everybody for tuning in. The Discord chat is open 24/7, either if you're a Twitch sub, which you can do for free if you have Amazon Prime on Twitch, or a patron of mine, patreon.com/Chris Pirillo. The links are in the video description. By the way, ChrisPirillo.com currently redirects to the Patreon campaign. So that's open 24/7. Can't promise to necessarily be awake 24/7, but it is open for you to certainly interact with each other. The next TLDR may very well be tomorrow, so go ahead and set notifications if you can. Not just for this channel, but also for the Chris Pirillo YouTube channel. The next video is going to be public very, very soon, the pre-recorded one. Keep those questions coming. I really appreciate having these discussions with you, no matter what those questions are. It is an AMA, so, anything kind of goes. Can't promise to answer everything. AMA is ask me anything, not answer me everything. That would be AME. I'm not an AME. So thank you once again for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the follows, the fans, the this, that, and the other things. I love you. I appreciate you. And may the Force be with you.